Do you guys remember when Elon Musk recently posted this? I think SpaceX might be able to reach approximately $1 trillion in revenue in 2030. This was in response to some estimates from Morgan Stanley that had SpaceX hitting $160 billion of revenue in 2028, $330 billion in 2030, roughly a third of where Musk thinks it's possible SpaceX could get to, and $3.4 trillion in 2040. By the way, quick side note, no company on Earth today is even close to $1 trillion in revenue. Give it half a decade or so, and there'll probably be a handful of companies that have reached that milestone by compounding their already phenomenal revenue numbers. But just wanted to size this estimate for 2040 of $3.4 trillion. It's roughly 5 times more revenue than the biggest companies on Earth today. Musk wasn't done with this post. He followed up to his own reply with this, and I would be surprised if revenue is not greater than $1 trillion in 2031. This is a pretty big leap from I think SpaceX might be able to reach approximately $1 trillion revenue by 2030 or in 2030 to, and I would be surprised if revenue isn't greater than $1 trillion in 2031. Clearly, this is something that Musk has thought about. What on Earth, or maybe off Earth, could possibly take place to get SpaceX to exceeding $1 trillion in revenue in 2031, just 5 years from now? New ARK Invest theory just dropped. Let's see what they got to say.
Elon saying $1 trillion in revenue in 2030. Brett, your estimates are about a third of that. Maybe we'll start there, dive in.
This is interesting already. ARK Invest, roughly a third of Musk's $1 trillion-ish possible revenue goal for 2030. Morgan Stanley also, funnily enough, roughly 1/3 of the $1 trillion figure. This is very interesting because historically, the perceptions of ARK Invest deluded Elon deriding overly optimistic fanboys versus Morgan Stanley, much more traditional, proper, rule following. Yet both end up at a similar point, a similar amount, which is still a third of Musk's own, I guess, stretch goal. But I would have expected a much greater divergence between where ARK was at in 2030 and Morgan Stanley. For them both to be on the same page is actually startling. PS, 2025 SpaceX revenue, let's just call it around 18, 19, rounded up $20 billion. To hit roughly a third of that $1 trillion goal in 2030 would require SpaceX revenue to increase roughly 15, 16 times from 2025 to 2030, which is staggering. Imagine you're currently making $100,000 a year personally in income. 5 years from now, you're at 1.6 million.
And what are your thoughts on SpaceX's IPO here and Elon's most recent tweet about $1 trillion in revenue in 2030 and much more likely in 2031?
Yeah, I think that one, the IPO was successful, as in they sold a lot of shares to the public and seemed to have listed at something above the IPO price without going totally nuts, which is, I think, where you want to hit. And there's plenty of shares to unlock over the next 180 days, and usually listings are volatile. This one could be particularly so because on a trailing financials basis, this company looks wildly, extraordinarily expensive. Even if you take into account the deals they signed for their data center as a service business with Anthropic and Google, it still looks quite expensive. But if you look forward and say, well, what are they going to do over the next few years, you can understand why it's valued so highly. They're going to take lots of cash, invest in satellites, principally Starlink satellites, loft them into orbit and monetize them. And we think that kind of injecting cash into that particular business is the most efficient use of capital for them in the immediate term. And mostly on the strength of that, and with the AI business basically like burning and churning cash, you get to $300 to $400 billion in revenue by 2030 and growing fairly quickly. And Elon says $1 trillion. So how do you square that circle? It's pretty clear to me that actually if you inject even more cash into the business, they could accelerate even faster. It could be that we're overestimating kind of like the cost to manufacture the satellites, or he thinks that they can improve their manufacturing and the capital efficiency of the business more than we're expecting. Or it could be that he's thinking that, hey, if we actually merge with Tesla here, they are going to be throwing a lot of cash flow off of robotaxis, and we can invest that cash flow in accelerating Starlink, but particularly AI orbital data centers in space.
Wake up, babe. New conspiracy theory just dropped. Fastest way for SpaceX to hit $1 trillion in revenue, merge with Tesla. Everyone and their dog thinks the merger is going to happen and that it's just a matter of if, not when. Hard to know exactly how Elon Musk was thinking and what he was thinking when he posted this. Obviously, he has thought about this, but how did he arrive at being surprised if SpaceX isn't doing at least $1 trillion in revenue in 2031? But ARK Invest may be onto something here. If autonomy continues to scale, it could very quickly get to a point where Tesla cannot spend the money that's being spat off by their ever-scaling, dominant global robotaxi service. As I've said in the past, my estimates are that the cybercabs will pay for themselves within a year. Best case could even be 6 months. Worst case, call it 2 years. Who cares, bro? Here's the math. Charge $2 per mile, which, by the way, is less than a typical Uber in the US, but let's be conservative. $2 a mile. You make a comparable profit per mile as Uber does today. And by the way, spoiler alert, Uber has to pay a human driver 25% profit. That's 50 cents profit per mile. Extremely conservative estimates. Cybercab doesn't need to pay a human driver. Even if you think, oh, well, what if there's one human monitoring every 10 cybercabs? It's still going to be less than paying a human driver. Cybercab, let's say it does 50,000 miles per year, roughly the same as a full-time Uber or taxi does today. $25,000 profit per cybercab per year on very conservative estimates. How much is it going to cost Tesla to manufacture a cybercab? Well, what do you fucking know? Probably about $25,000. They can make a Model Y today, which has much more physical mass material, more higher end features, greater performance, lots of luxuries you do not need in a dedicated two-seater, much smaller, lower mass cybercab. You can make one of those today in the mid $30,000 range. They sell them for about $40,000 and make a profit doing so. Let's scale up the numbers. Let's say Tesla makes 1 million cybercabs in a single year, $25,000 a pop. That's $25 billion of capital expenditure in a year. 12 months later, those vehicles have paid for themselves. A fair warning, make sure you're sitting down for this. I'm serious, by the way. You sitting? You better be. You sitting down? Good. Right, ready? Plot twist. Those numbers we just looked at, where a Tesla Cybercab manufactured for $25,000 could pay for itself in a single year, based on very conservative assumptions, included a profit of 25%, which, funnily enough, is a little bit less than the cut that Uber takes from its human drivers today. I'm going somewhere with this. Stick with me. You didn't forget about Tesla's existing fleet of millions of vehicles on roads today, did you? Those same vehicles that essentially overnight, with an over-the-air software update, could begin operating as part-time, super part-time, or full-time robotaxis, did you? If Tesla was taking a comparable Uber-like cut of these fares, a full-time Tesla robotaxi that a customer purchased, a Model Y or a Model 3, could itself be bringing in $25,000 a year of profits for Tesla. The implications here are rather astonishing. If Tesla had 1 million custom-owned vehicles operating as full-time robotaxis, they're taking a 25% cut off the top, and customers are paying $2 a mile, which is quite conservative. That's $25 billion a year, basically pure profit. Add in some full-time dedicated cybercabs, themselves spitting off crazy money. It is absolutely conceivable that Tesla simply will not be able to spend the money fast enough. Now, the obvious place for Tesla to spend the money is on their Optimus humanoid robots. There's still work to do there before they become capable enough to be useful enough for customers to be paying big money for, not just to purchase the hardware, but also for the software to operate them. But this will happen. But even then, there's only so much money Tesla's going to be able to spend. And as the Optimus humanoid robots become capable enough to be selling commercially and then charging thousands of dollars per month for the software to operate them, because they're able to do the work of a human that might be being paid $100,000 or more a year now, we're going to reach the exact same situation with the Optimus humanoid robots, which, in let's just call it a year flat, are paying for the next Optimus to be built and so on. In short, all roads do seem to point to Tesla probably not being able to spend all the money they're making as a company, assuming robotaxis are successful, and then later Optimus. If you're a company piling up so much cash you can't conceivably spend it all, not even close, this may sound like a good thing, but it's actually a massive problem. Just to be clear, you obviously need a massive financial safety net to weather any potential future storms, including those you can't even imagine. But once you have enough cash, the big enough safety net to survive any unexpected situation, in fact, a series of them, one after another. Above and beyond that, as a company, you do not want to be piling up billions and billions every quarter, above and beyond what you need for the safety net, and not being able to deploy it in your business to produce a future return. ARK are right, though, that SpaceX has an enormous need for capital now, hence the IPO, and in the future, the development and then mass manufacturing of Starships, massively scaling their Starlink global internet and cell service. building fuck tons of Earth-based AI compute, leasing a lot of that out to other companies, paying for itself very quickly, and then also the fleet of up to 1 million, this is what they've asked for, up to 1 million orbital data centers. Bottom line here, it is certainly possible that SpaceX could help assist Tesla with their possible future cash flow problem, meaning their inability to spend it as fast as it's coming in. Whether or not Elon Musk's estimates for $1 trillion plus in revenue by 2031, if not, he'd be surprised, assumed that Tesla's part of the mix, who knows? But I can say it is absolutely fair to say that if Tesla and SpaceX AI are all under the one roof, one company, one entity, the mutual benefits, the flexibility that brings with it in managing cash flow, capital expenditure, investing in future revenues, growth, this would be a massive win for both companies. Thanks for watching. If you appreciate the content and want to support the channel, check out the links below where you can get early access to daily videos, unlock hundreds of exclusive pieces of content, and plenty more. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.